Hey, everybody. Great news. We have our latest AI apprentice, Jeff Pebley.
Hello.
And we wanted to talk about something that a lot of you guys as young adults are probably wondering, because if you don't have a phone or a laptop, it's hard to do the work.
I agree.
And so Jeff has the iPhone with the 3 cameras, which makes it cool, I guess. And then he's got this brand new MacBook Pro, which is pretty awesome. It's the same one as mine, pretty much. Mine's just like a couple of years newer, but this is the M1 Max MacBook Pro with 32 gigs of RAM, and he's able to do ChatGPT, including the ChatGPT browser, which is really cool.
Yeah.
He's oh, you tell him, what are you working on?
So he gives me so basically I do articles for people, like people's brand sites, and I've been really interested, and Dennis
Like,
here
show him this interview that you're working on right
is
now, or you switch the tab.
yeah, let's see.
Oh, yeah, that one. You just had it, that one.
This one.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is basically these are interviews, correct?
Yeah.
These are basically this is what's his name?
You got Jack Went and Kevin Lee, and you got me and Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee, Dennis Yu.
Yeah.
And they were at the DG Marcon, and there was a lot of interviews. And my job is to take these videos and make an article about it.
Yeah, and those articles live on the personal brand site. So we've got a ton of personal brand sites. We make personal brand sites for other people. It's part of what we do at Local Service Spotlight is we highlight these local service entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So that means fixing up their company website, but also tuning up their personal brand website. And most of them don't even have a personal brand website. So we have a tool to do that, but we need smart people who are dedicated like Jeff to do that. And part of being able to do that means you got to have a decent phone, and you have to have a decent laptop. And big fans of Apple products. A lot of the stuff you can only do on Apple, like the GPT Atlas browser is only available on Apple. I mean, you could argue like, Android this and that, but if you want to use these tools, you have to be on Mac. And I know these, Mac costs more. And maybe, if you're in high school, they don't provide you with that. They probably have some like crappy Chromebooks.
Yeah.
But, you need a real laptop. And, if you take a phone and a laptop, that might be about $3,000.
Right.
So how is someone like Jeff able to do work with us if he doesn't have the $3,000 to buy all that? What's the, how do you get out of that?
Right. Honestly, I would just, from what I have now, I definitely have gained, and I hope showed respect for you, and that if I keep showing up and working hard and learning and gaining skills with AI, I think that this will be the best for me. And that
What'd you have before?
nothing, honestly. I didn't have no phone. I had, a Chromebook from the schools that they provide, but it can't really get the job done when working with these new and high technical, like computers or phones. You can't really. So yeah, Dennis provide the stuff that I need. I like been provided with everything needed for this AI journey or whatever. And yeah.
And so part of it is that it's about trust. So when we're spending money and, technically get some expensive toys, they know that we're trusting them, and technically it's company equipment.
Yeah.
So it's not a gift, right? Some kids might think, like, it's happened before in the past where we'll buy them this stuff and they'll say, oh, it's mine, I'm gonna give it back.
Right.
Or then they get too busy with school or whatever it is and like, oh, well, it's mine now. Like, no, it's not. These are assets that help you get the work done. And then our hope is that as it gets more and more stuff done, then he's able to earn it in. And
yeah,
like, we were making articles yesterday, and stuff that used to take us like 5 or 6 hours now take 10 minutes, right? It's crazy because all the stuff is on my phone or in our Zoom calls. We have thousands of these videos that we're turning into articles. And then by him using ChatGPT, and some of these tools that we built, because we built some to do some of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Let's just say, if it takes him 10 minutes to do one of these, maybe the first time it takes an hour or two because he's trying to learn,
Right.
trying to get set up, trying to log in, all that kind of stuff. But let's say as he gets practice and does a few of them, then he can do it in 10 minutes like we were doing yesterday because I'm helping.
Yep.
But let's just say that's worth $5. So if he can get, if it takes 10 minutes, you can get 6 of them done in an hour. So that's $30, right?
All right.
And let's just say, we talked about personal brand websites being worth about $100,
Right.
right? Because if you, when we were setting up the site and then we add the articles and then there's certain things we do to like kind of pretty it up and
Yeah.
add the social profiles. So if that's worth about $100, then we could say, you know what? If you get 10 personal brand websites done, Jeff, then I saw, what did I do? It was a math. Sorry, 14. If you get 14 personal brand websites done,
Uh-huh.
then the laptop and the phone are now yours 100%.
Just with
Then you own it. Just get 14 of them done. 14 websites, but each website has, 6 to 10 articles on each one, right? And then it has to be done the right way. So you can't just like put up some crap sites and say, ta-da, right? And so the way we determine if it's done is we have these AI, we're using AI tools to build it, but we use these AI tools to also grade. And so, yeah, so he can submit his stuff to the AI saying, hey, what do you think? Is it good enough? And it'll say, you did a good job here and here, but you also missed a couple things like this, or there's some typos, or, something's
Right.
like, something there to fix. So we think that's a really fair deal because Jeff showed that before he had the laptop, he was working on a shared computer that you had like 4 siblings and your mom and everyone
Yeah.
trying to use the same computer.
Yeah.
And even though that was sort of hectic because all these people are trying to take control of the computer, he was able to show me that he was diligent and he would show up on time. He did the work, even though he had these various challenges or the Wi-Fi wasn't very good. But he showed me enough that he was serious about this that I said, you know what? This is worth investing in you to get this stuff for you. So what advice do you have for the other young guys out there? Maybe they're in your situation. They don't have a laptop or a phone.
Honestly, if you get the opportunity that I'm in, please take it because there's a lot of cool people out here like Dennis, and that not everything's easy, and that you need to really take your time into learning things so you can be stronger at what you do and build connections to where like people will trust you and want to work with you getting your your blog posts or any type of page or anything that they need done. They know that they could trust you and get it done. And yeah, I just want to say thank you, Dennis, for everything.
So I appreciate Jeff for his diligence. I mean, the key thing is the diligence. So I remember when we first started working, you get stuck on some stuff.
Yeah.
And instead of just like saying, okay, whatever, and just leaving, he's like, no, I need help on this, or how do I get access to that? Or who do I go to for this? And so I saw that every time he ran into a hurdle, he was diligent enough to figure it out. It's like, oh, go see Muzamil for access to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Or come over here, or like, I'm not able to, I don't know, I have some error here. Like, oh, I'm going to ChatGPT.
Right.
And ChatGPT is telling us like, how do we process the file, which is really cool. So I think you guys, if you're watching this and you think you could be like Jeff and you think you have this kind of diligence and you can manage your time, because, I think one of the key things is that Jeff realizes is that when you have a real job, you have to figure out the schedule. Like, even though technically it's not like, you go to a Chick-fil-A for your shift, you still have to get the job done. So Jeff figured out that like when he's out of school at say 2:00, then he can come home and then his work time would be like say 3 to 5 or something like that if he's not playing basketball or whatever. And then just being able to plan out that time, like you set a schedule, just like you would with if you had a shift at another place.
Right.
It gives you that ultimate freedom because you don't have to, drive an hour to go to some shoe palace wherever you were before, right? But you could work on your own time. But the key is if you can just have the discipline to figure out like, okay, all my friends want to go and play, you're like, okay, you know, we can play in like 2 or 3 hours, but I need to get this project done because
Yeah.
I have a thing that's due today. Just like a homework assignment, just, you know, because we have
Right.
people that are, all of us, we're counting on each other for our stuff. So like, if I don't do my part, then that delays something he needs. So it's
Right.
it's that whole like basketball team, if point guard or center or whatever doesn't do the part, the whole team loses.
Right.
Wow. What other advice would you have for folks?
I would just say, hmm, some advice that I have is that, what do you think would be some good advice?
I think help people understand, young adults, they see a lot of stuff on the internet and they're thinking like, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I don't really see what my future is necessarily. Like, I know I need a job, I need to make some money, but what are my choices? Working at McDonald's or Shoe Palace?
Yeah.
But this is a great option. Not many people know about it, but it's not easy money, right?
Yeah.
You still got to work hard. A lot of people see us on the internet and they think, oh, we're like traveling and we're going to all these cool places. We're eating all these cool, you know, cool
Yeah.
meals or whatever, but they don't see like how much
Work you
there
actually
is.
put in.
Yeah. So maybe something along those lines, right? Because they're thinking like, who is this Dennis Yu guy,
Yeah.
right?
So I one night was going to Ninja Kids and I met Dennis and I noticed that he actually had respect and cared and was a trustworthy person. And he offered me some he offered me an opportunity at learning AI. And I would just say that not everything's easy and having a job is hectic. And not saying that this isn't a job, this is more of a job on your time, but I feel like this would be so much better for me because it's more, I can fit um I can fit working like on my own schedule. I can also do everything that I was before, and that I really I really like respect this opportunity that Dennis gave me to learn AI and gain skills.
And that's where it's at, you know, like your teachers and your parents and these business owners, they don't understand any of this AI stuff.
Yeah.
They know they need to do it. They're afraid of it. They think it's like the Terminator is going to come like kill everybody because they don't understand what it is. So we have this huge opportunity because I don't think it's that hard. I mean,
Yeah.
old people think this stuff is hard, but
Yeah.
yes, you know, I've seen you learn how to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's that hard, right? And when we learn how to use ChatGPT, all these guys want to hire us to work on their business. So that's the opportunity. If you want to find out more, go check out High Rise Influence. Go look at the AI Apprentice Program and see how many other Jeff Pebleys there are that are out there. We want to create 1 million jobs. And as Jeff starts to advance and goes further and further, he's going to train up other people too. And that's that whole thing. You give back, right? When you learn, you know, get to a certain level, then you know the responsibility is that you got to coach other people that are coming in right behind you.
Right.
Amen. Awesome. Love to hear what you guys think.